Alright, if you're willing, let's fucking talk about Conor Murphy. I'm gonna literally pummel this guy with this. I've been trying to get him on the podcast, and this will happen. He's not replied, but everyone thinks Conor Murphy was insane. If anyone's familiar, basically, he was like a fitness guy who was just an ego on the internet. And then he took ayahuasca and had a breakdown, but he was actually just God, and he was conducting a mad plan for... just because it was fucking awesome. He was like, I'm God, I'm infinitely intelligent. There's a documentary by Sunny V2 that basically goes into... It says, this fitness YouTuber went clinically insane.
But have you seen Escaping the Cult of Bodybuilding, the full story?
Yeah, it's like a 2-hour fucking documentary.
He explains the whole thing without explaining the whole thing. So he makes a sketch where he's like, I'm actually just playing the part exactly that I need to play for them not to think I'm insane, and like pretending to do a sketch where he's insane. Like,
yeah.
Like, he fully gets it. Like, he's just exposing it without exposing it. He's just like playing the part, because when you break out, like just like what you said with your family and stuff like that too, like if you just go out and say like I'm God, and then some people think you're strange and they shake you into a mental thing, and you're like keep saying that you're God to them, they're gonna put you in a place like you're gonna have to like break down to their level of reality and be like, no, yeah, I understand you, I'm human, I'm this, I'm that, I'm very good, yes, very good, good, until you are out of there. Like, and Conor Murphy completely, like, he went a bit insane. He admits that too. He went a bit manic, but he did it in a sense where he didn't hurt anyone. He literally physically cleansed his body. He has a more aware consciousness now. For him, it just benefited his life in the big picture now of his well-being.
Yeah.
He's not insane. He's actually well now. Has stabilized it, and is not manic about it anymore, and has a inner peace. Like, he has videos where he goes, like, when he's manic, and he's like, you guys are talking to God, like, I'm God, motherfuckers, like...
Yeah. And, like, his mania, like, I almost, like... Because he talks about his course about, like, the social insecurity, and this is one of the best things ever. It's, like, liberation when you don't have to, like, mediate yourself, and the portraying of the insanity to me is just like, I almost want to do that a bit as well, like just create art that, like, he has music videos. Have you seen his music videos?
Some of them, but not all of it. I've checked almost all of his Conor Murphy talks when it's like Jesus mode on his other channel. Like,
there's one lyric he goes, I promise you the truth will set you motherfucking free, but I'm in motherfucking psychosis, don't listen to me. And when I was watching, like, all of this stuff go down, I was like, he's obviously crazy. But there was, like, a deeper, higher self that was like, no, I know what he's on about.
He's fucking going crazy. Have you seen this? Like, commented on my YouTube channel, this man's going insane. And then I went and I was like, this man's completely sane. Maybe he's over the top and being crazy about it, but
he knows.
Speaking truth.
Yeah.
He's speaking the goddamn truth. Like,
speaking the God intelligence and shit. My friend, me and him were watching, like, there was an interview of him. Have you seen, like, his parents? He has, like, a 2-hour fucking... It's gone now. I can't find it. It's a shame. But his parents are, like, in on it. It's weird. But there was, like, a 2-hour talk where he tries... It's, like, trying to enlighten my parents. And he's on there going, heaven on earth. And they're like, what are you on about? Like, shaking their heads in their jobs. And he's like... Have you seen that?
No.
It's like a FaceTime call, and he's like, they're trying to save him and get him on, like, medication, and he's like, if only you guys could realise heaven on earth. And they're like, oh, you need help. This is what my family do to me now. So this is an important, like I said to you earlier, my family and my friends, I don't want to go into this, but, well, to be fair, this is the whole thing of Conor Murphy, and this is why I need to get him on here, and I'm going to make, like, an actual full-on edited video. Like, have you seen his interviews with that ginger guy who's like, I don't know, have you watched many interviews of him?
No.
He's on, like, a podcast, and his dad's, like, shaking his head in the background, like, yeah, I'm trying to save my son from this stupid bullshit. And that's what my dad looks at it like, and my sister in the group chat, she was like, it's really hard to see you on YouTube where you think, like, everyone thinks I need help. Both of my sisters were like, yeah, this hit the nail on the head. You need help. You don't believe that you need help. And this is why it's painful to the family. And that they don't know that they're constructing all of this stuff. And I am actually God and I know the truth. And then they're like, you need help. And I'm like, and this is the whole Conor Murphy shtick. Is like, he went to the mental hospital on purpose and then exposed how unhealthy it is because they feed you fucking tin stuff and bread. And
Yeah.
and then it's just like the ultimate game, and it's so funny to everyone who, like, the game is, everyone thinks you're crazy, but when you're enlightened, you're like, that's funny, because I know I'm not. And then it's like, both sides think each other's crazy. And then he has a video, have you seen his video, Buddha would be in a mental hospital?
I might have seen that. I've seen those kind of videos. I don't remember exactly, but it is, I understand. If you say the truth, like in today's society, that means that technically if everything is a projection and you become a victim of things and you're projecting insecurities, that means that technically what they're saying is that they're having those things. They're in a psychosis. They are crazy. They're living in out of touch with reality when they're saying, when someone's like, here's the truth, here's the reality of existence, and they're like, oh, you're out of touch with reality, you're having a psychosis. And it's just the defense mechanism of fear,
Yeah,
expressing their projection of reality.
because they, like, fear is like, you don't understand reality, so, like, that's, and, like, you want to, like, close yourself off. So, one of my best insights about the nature of insecurity. So when I'm like walking around barefoot eating fruit, someone like walked up to me and was like, "What are you doing, bruv?" And he's wearing like a tracksuit, smoking a fag, drinking Coca-Cola, and I'm like, I realise over the past few months that basically people have a model of how you should act, and this is what Conor Murphy talks about on his course of social insecurity and shit. People have a model of how they should act based on insecurity. So I go about the world, people tell me that that's cringe and that's like weird and that's not cool. I have a 40-minute video called "What Culture Deems Cool is 180 Degrees Backwards." Everyone thinks like smoking and doing drugs is cool, or like being a rebel, sure. But then the actual cool stuff is like actually health and vitality and intellectual path. In my opinion, or whatever, it's all subjective. But what was the main point I was saying? I lost track. Sorry. Do you remember? Can you? I don't think I'm gonna get. Sorry.
Conor Murphy, mostly just the point of your parents and something.
I can't fucking remember actually. That's such a shame that I lost that. But it doesn't matter, because here we are in the spaciousness of infinite consciousness, and all desires are just a fucking thing that you believe in, and it's just an illusion. So Conor Murphy's not crazy. Everyone who thinks Conor Murphy's crazy, you're actually crazy. Everyone's crazy. Oh yeah, what I was saying, I remember now, sorry, is that... So you basically build a frame that you should act in a certain way because everyone tells you that's cringe. You can find people reacting to cringe, and basically you got to realise that all cringe is internally constructed. Conor Murphy talks so much about this. Cringe is just a fabrication of your own mind, and then based on your own how you think you should act, you then project that. So when people see me doing breath work in shorts in the field barefoot, they're like, that doesn't fit with my frame of how I should be. Therefore, Terence McKenna says we live in a world where people make you uncomfortable, therefore they're the problem.
Yeah, like I understand your point 100%, but it's also not giving a fuck about those people. But it's 100% the case that people just project on how they think you should be. But it's just the societal norms. It's just like what they think a normal person should do. You should have a job. You should be like this. You should dress like that. You should stay with the trends. Don't think outside the box.
It's like Terence, one of the main things he says is culture is not your friend. It's like,
Yeah.
not necessarily, it can be, but I mean, like, the whole hive mind, actualize.org has, like, a video of how socialization makes you stupid. It's like a 2-hour video. I've been feeling that a lot. Like, when I'm in God consciousness, and then I go hang around with roadmen who hate themselves, it, like, mires me in groupthink, and I kind of lose my consciousness. And when I go to my retail job, and he basically says, and Connor Murphy is so familiar with actualize.org, as well, which is the cool thing, is how it all interconnects, and it's like the most entertaining thing ever.
Yeah, and 100%. But it's also about learning to maintain that in any situation.
Yeah.
And not being a victim of reality. And if you're playing some part of your life that even in God consciousness you don't like it, like you would prefer something else, then you do your absolute best to just change that with all your power.
I'm actually so those who don't know, I'm like on mushrooms and that. It's like I'm just looking at my face, and like just like now I'm like experiencing like full blast ego death, and like I was in like it felt like a half orgasm but not, and then it's like my whole being is just being like completely redefined, and it's like there's no thoughts, it's just like my face just seems to be growing outwards into spaciousness, and it's like it's so fucking weird. It's like that's why I said like I'm just in shock, and I'm like terrified. And those who don't know, by the way, go check out all the I'm on the phone with Mr. Nature. We've just done like hours of talking about the fundamental nature of reality, God consciousness, and reflecting on Connor Murphy and actualize.org's realization video of God consciousness and everything. So that's the context anyway. But yeah, so Connor Murphy ain't crazy. I guess that's all there is to say about that.
Yeah, he's got it, like, but he just played it in a way that it was supposed to look crazy. People were supposed to get their concepts broken and surprised, and then the people that really looked got it, like.
Yeah, and then that's what he done it. He made himself look crazy in order to like have bare videos made where those people were projecting, and therefore he could literally show evidence that. So like, you know how everyone thinks you're crazy, and all my family projecting onto me, they like don't want me to do mushrooms and that, and then it's he literally builds like a catalogue of evidence of culture projecting, and then he's like, oh, the Buddha would be in the mental hospital and all this madness. It's like
it makes you really look at what life is when it's like that, because he was just like a normal YouTuber, like mainstream gym guy, just making it out of looks and bodybuilding, which he talks in his video too. And then all of a sudden ayahuasca, pure consciousness, and display, and I'm sure he lost himself and went a little bit crazy in it because he was playing such a role, and I'm sure like it wasn't all fun for him. Like, I'm sure he had to apologize and do a lot of things that was like, oh shit, I actually hurt some people more than I thought and stuff like that. But like, he's well, he understands himself more than before the journey. Like, before that he was a superficial bodybuilder that was insecure, like he says so himself.
But the thing is, like, people, like, if I were to do that now and fake my death, and like, people don't understand how all of the hurt is actually internally created, like, because they don't.
Course, but then you still have to, like, even in the illusion of people's things, like, as a compassionate being, you wanna think of like not hurting people unnecessarily too.
Yeah, you don't want to do that because, like, just why would you? Like, but yeah, it's like egos kill themselves over a story. So like my father, for example, he says like if I were to go off the rails, which is why it's so touchy, me being on like mushrooms and shit at the minute. He's like, if I basically died, he would like just self-destruct as an ego, and it's like his life has no. But it's like you just believe in a story in your mind, and it's not necessary.
Yeah, but instead you can like the difference is that like if you actually do this and not just like take psychedelics as a drug, like it's a revolution of consciousness. It's a revolution of creating alternatives to the system, living in tune with nature. It's a whole natural revolution of going back to the roots of consciousness, the roots of ancient cultures that lived in tune with the Tao and with nature and with the process of the cosmic life. Like we're more like aware of what kind of beings we are. And it is returning to that, so people can think they're crazy all they want, but what's crazy is that in real life, in Babylon, Matrix, in a normal person's 9 to 5 life, you're getting forced to take fucking vaccines to exist, like.
Yeah.
So, freedom or people forcing you to do things, to be in places, like what sounds more reasonable, like if you really think about it, any person, like even my family and like many people I know, older people that were like that is normal 9 to 5 people, all think the government's completely fucked way more than they thought before Corona, like because the real Corona was the fucking news and the fear propaganda and the vaccines and
But it's crazy how like the entire population bought into it, and they like victimized. When I didn't get the fucking vaccine, my whole job like threatened that I would lose my job, and that like they all called me selfish. My parents, my dad was calling me selfish for not getting the vaccine.
That's what I mean, that you can just hear that in itself. That doesn't mean they're saying that you don't have a free will to do as you want. You should do what we say. That is not like a real government or something that supports free will and liberty. That's like authoritarian. Well, I'm not even good enough to speak English to say the word, but that's people that are trying to control you. That's people in power that don't respect your free will to do it that you want to. They limit your freedom, so you cannot go here if you don't inject this thing that most people haven't even read the ingredients or what it is or anything, and they don't realize that they're all literally just like puppets promoting a commercial for vaccines. They're just like, hey, here, take this. They're free salesmen of this vaccine.
And it is like ultimate profit as well. Like the biggest wealth transfer in history just went down because of COVID. And it's all bullshit, and loads of health stuff is coming out, and it's like...
And they keep telling people to take new vaccines, like still to this day, like if you're watching the news and shit, they're like, oh, take your 4th, 5th motherfucking dose, like almost.
But then no one says anything about the electric plants. What's Inspector Veg is what's he said? Said they want to keep us alive, but didn't mention the electric plants. But I can't go to the club and dance. That's non-compliance. The lockdowns ain't backed by science. We come to bring that truth, show them proof that we are the giants. It's like they don't. What was the other lyric? He goes, I can't remember. He just goes like, didn't teach us how to build the immune system, and they didn't even mention it. It's like they don't tell you that the sugar and pus that's in the queue while you're waiting to buy your stuff, that we start our children. I swear down, this is all one of the main things. Conor Murphy again, it's all relevant, but why does culture seem to... well, to be fair, I know it's all a gift from God and it's all good, but it's like, there actually seems to be traditions, like the English breakfast, for example, is poison. And Christmas and the Advent calendars is poison. And it's like... And Halloween...
It's because it all got commercialized. Everything got commercialized. Like, actually, Christmas is a Kundalini celebration.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, it's like Jesus' rebirth, and you have 33 cerebral, whatever, you have 33 knots in your back, like in your spine, all the way up to your crown from your lower back. I don't remember what they're called in English, but ryggrad, you have 33 knots of your spine with bone, and Jesus died at 33. And when you climb up your kundalini, up your spine, and you're rebirthed, what you're experiencing now on mushrooms, what you can meditate to, is reaching your crown chakra, becoming spacious, infinite consciousness, and realizing you're one with the Creator, you are God. That's opening your crown chakra. And Christmas is a celebration for that, and the Bible is like a biology book on how to rebirth yourself into Christ consciousness. If you read between the lines, it's been corrupted and stuff like that too. But I could get more into it, but it's like, I'm really stoned right now.
Well, I'm gonna end this like segment of this one video anyway. So yeah, anyway, everyone check out all the fucking madness on the stuff, Mr. Nature and the podcast, and I'm gonna walk out of Babylon and then go with Mr. Nature, and it's gonna be a divine heaven on earth, and then we're gonna meet Connor Murphy, and then we're gonna do fucking breath work on ayahuasca. So if you want to see that, then subscribe before I get censored and deleted for COVID misinformation. It's just like the most intelligent, like when I started realize, like a while ago, I started to get like more back into conspiracy theories, and it's like I understand the touchy nature of them, but it's like I said, like the thing is basically you're God. You constructed this thing from the ground up. You made yourself forget. This is what Connor Murphy says as well. It's like, and then like I was a bin man. I was depressed. I was ill as fuck, and I hated my life and all the taking pills. I was like all this story, and then you are God, and then now I'm gonna go manifest heaven on earth. So it's like you do it to yourself because it's like the most mad, best adventure, and then you realize that as well, and then yeah, it's a madness.
Yeah, this moment is perfect. All is well. Everything is love. Is trust.
What the fuck? It's cool how there's no thoughts right now. That's really rare for me. But like, I don't have the thoughts don't just come. It's just stopped.
Yeah, and from there, when you really, or in the stillness point, when you use your mind, you feel the creative force way more, that your thoughts actually manifest into reality when you like maintain them and put them into your feelings as a belief.
Yeah. It's all manifestation. It's all law of attraction. It's fucking... And you just sit at the center of all of this divine, and you just breathe, and you know that you're God, and then that's it.
That's it. Your love, your God, whatever you want to call it, your infinite intelligence, we're all eternal. It's just all a play. No one actually dies. We all do this forever. It's just a game. It's not so serious as people think.
It's so, like, but I almost, like, want to say fuck you to myself, because this is what I said about, oh, reality is love, right, and I was like, well, how does the suffering fit in? And obviously, when you awaken, you understand that it's actually just an illusion. But I was, like, why would I was like, I almost feel like, yeah, it was the coolest thing ever, and I understand why I done it in the end, once I awoke. But for months, I was just like, my soul was just being absolutely fucking crushed. Like, I've been depressed for as long as I can remember, and literally just, like I say, like, this, like, the other day when I was at work, I just fucking imploded on a fucking full blast negative breakdown. It's like, why would I do that? But I understand, so it's not really a question, it's just like, it's just fucking weird that I done that, or, you know.
Yeah, but it's a part of it, it's part of waking up, or shaking up the beliefs, and like a depression shows you that something is not in tune, and then you do something about it. Basically, it guides you to where you are now.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah. But like, one of them most amazing. Oh, I need to listen to that fucking. I'm gonna walk around later and listen to that more of that fucking guy that you were on about. of what's it called, spectrum.
Yeah.
It says
With like
everything. Sorry.
With an X.
Yeah.
Like SPXTRM.
Everyone, you must listen to this guy. But he says, yeah, everything needs contrast. And then that's when you say everything's love, and I'm like, well, where does depression fit into it? It's like, well, without the negatives, like, it's the yin and yang. You need the contrast, of course. Otherwise, nothing exists.
Yeah. We are existence. Everything and nothing.
Everyone, go watch the fucking 4-5-part fucking videos I just done with Mr. Nature. I might keep it recording, but I'm probably going to get to uploading them like immediately. So check the description, check the playlist, check out Rumble, check out Spotify, because I'm going to get censored by Babylon eventually. Thank you.